7 aquascaping tips for you. Actually, 7 aquascaping tips from you. Because I went through the comments in a lot of my videos and chose 7 questions from you guys. I'll be answering those questions in this video because I believe there might be some valuable tips to share after reviewing these questions. And thank you all so much for all your beautiful comments. Question number 1. I have the same type of algae on all my plants. Any tips on how to get rid of it? He's referring to the algae on the Alternanthera reinecki in my Iwagumi nanotank. I believe this type of algae is called green fuzz algae. It's usually an indication of nutrient deficiency or imbalance. I've noticed I only get this algae in my nanotank. Smaller tanks are difficult to keep balanced. Everything happens a lot faster in a small tank. CO2 levels and water temperature can change pretty fast in this kind of aquariums. Also, if you are trying to keep bettas, it gets more complicated because they need warmer water and algae loves warm temperatures. This algae is almost impossible to remove by hand, but Orosinclus and Amano shrimps will eat it. Adding a few extra algae eaters for a short period of time could help you get rid of it. But you'll need to address the nutrition problems for a permanent solution. Question number 2. I really want to replicate your tank with a few tweaks, but where can I find so many stones like that? Well, I used to buy aquarium stones from online aquarium shops, but a few years ago I found out that home improvement stores actually sell them. So in my case, I live in Florida, and I can find them at stores like Lowe's or Home Depot. They don't have them in the actual store, you have to buy them on their website. If you decide to do this, don't search the stone's name. Chances are you won't find it like that. Instead, search for gardening rocks. And the coolest part about this is that you can find really cool stuff for half the price. Sadie stones, dragon stones, you name it. It's worth checking out. Question number 3. My tap water is kinda hard and about 7.8 pH. Will I be good to use distilled water with beta minerals added? Distilled water is usually very soft, which shouldn't be a problem. You can always add more minerals, but the only way to remove minerals is by using a filter. I like to use a reverse osmosis filter for my tanks. It removes all minerals from the water, and it brings the water's TDS down to 0, which is awesome because then I can add minerals back into the water and increase TDS to exactly what I want. What I'm always looking for is from 120 to 160 ppm after a water change. So even though I've never used beta minerals before, what I can say for sure is that if you're using soft water and then raising the mineral content, as long as you know what that number should be, you'll be fine. And guys, if you are enjoying this video, please like and subscribe for more weekly content just like this. Question number 4. May I ask what plant you use in diorama style, especially on top of the tree? This plant is called Riccia fluitans, and it's a floating plant. I love this plant because it's really versatile. You can even use it as a foreground plant if you attach it to something. To create the trees, I glued small pieces to the branches, and as the plant grows, it gets really dense and beautiful. There are 2 things that you should know before using this plant. First, if you glue it to something, make sure to trim it regularly because it grows pretty fast, and since it is a floating plant, the whole thing will detach and float to the surface. The other thing you need to know is that you shouldn't use it in a tank with mosses. if even the smallest piece of Riccia fluitans gets in the moss, you'll have a very hard time separating them. Riccia is pretty invasive. Other than that, it's an amazing plant. Question number 5. The tank at 210 is amazing. What unique, vivid colors on the plants? How do you fertilize it? And do you use an external filter? First of all, thank you, and I'm really glad that you like it. I actually don't have this tank anymore. I had it for many years, and it was a very well-established aquarium. I do fertilize all my tanks with secant products, potassium, phosphorus, and trace elements weekly. And filtration-wise, an external filter is the way to go. Even if you think there's no difference between a canister filter and a sponge filter per se, I will still use a canister filter, since it's not inside the aquarium. It doesn't take up any space that you need to create your scape. Also, and this is very cool, the light that you use makes a huge difference in coloration. For that tank, I was using a Twin Star S series, and it gave off a reddish tint. Even though I use other lights now, that reddish tint was something special. Question number 6. Are they also known as ghost shrimps? This question is about amano shrimps. Amano shrimps and ghost shrimps are different species, but they do look really alike. I even bought a couple of them once by mistake. One of the differences that I see between them is their body shape. Amano shrimps are straight and smooth looking, while ghost shrimps have this sharp arc in their bodies. But the biggest difference between them is related to algae control. Amanos are amazing algae eaters, while ghost shrimps, well, they're really not that good. One more thing I want to say about amano shrimps is that these right here are also amano shrimps. For a while, I thought they were snowball shrimps, but I did some research, and snowball shrimps are neocardinas, which are very small. They only grow up to 1.5 inches, while amano shrimps can grow up to 2.5 inches, and sometimes even a little bit more. Question number 7. What plants do you recommend for the dwarf gourami? Because he always eats everything I get. I've actually never had an issue with that before. If you only have a few plants in your tank, then they might pick on it just because it catches their attention. But if you have a heavily planted aquarium, there'll be so much going on that they won't have any time to focus on any specific plants. Other than that, there are a few plants out there that are almost impossible to eat by a nanofish. Anubias are a great choice. They are really tough. Weeping moss and ferns are good as well. Pretty much all epiphyte plants are usually resilient. I hope you got some value from this video. Hopefully, a few of the tips can help you with your own tanks. And if you guys would like me to make more videos like this in the future, answering more of your questions, please let me know in the comments. See you next week.